and welcome to the NXT review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2, but pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a very good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, they're joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's, first night of Halloween. What's that I can smell?
I think it's HBK cooking.
Yeah.
I got into this business for that noise-making thing that you do when we talk about Halloween Havoc. I got into watching this business for nights like last night. What a show. What a f***ing show. Like, I loved it. I absolutely loved this. There was some 3-star wrestling and some 10-star bullshit. I couldn't get enough of it. Like yesterday on the preview, like we were talking about like how NXT does a good job with Halloween in general. It's got this weird affection with it. The wrestlers, probably because they're such caricatures in the first place, have no problem just dressing up as something else. It's maybe why they fit better than like cosplaying wrestlers on Raw, SmackDown, whatever. There is something about how I don't even like Halloween that much myself, and yet there's something about how NXT interacts with it. And they say, you know what, you're not so bad, Halloween. Like maybe I can get on board with you after all.
So basically you're saying Halloween.
Hey, you all right?
You are when NXT presents you, and I can't wait for night 2. There's 2 of them. It's like WrestleMania come early, WrestleMania in October, Halloween in January. I love it. Can't get enough.
Remember when they tried to spin that in late 2017 when it was Cena versus Roman and Brock versus Braun?
Yeah.
It's like WrestleMania's come early, guys.
No mercy.
With apologies to Michael Cole. I'll never apologize. This is it. This is stupid fun. This is like a lot of fun. I thought some of the wrestling was really strong in certain areas. You had like a jump. That's always fun to look at. I like the thing about
sorry. Hello. That's broke now.
Thank God it's fixed.
It's that when they do plunder matches, there's like different weapons and they're like really creative with how they do that. Honestly, it was just stupid bollocks fun. I watched it and I was like,
NXT is not, it's a very long way away from hipster wrestling, right? But there was something specific in the Devil's Playground that occurred to me like, this isn't for everyone. Like, WWE have made a product that is categorically not for everybody, when as the market leader, they try and make their stuff broad enough for every wrestling fan to get something out of. I was watching, like, there was multiple times during NXT where I was like, this is for the fans. This is for the hardcores. It just made me feel good.
You know, there was a legendary title run cut short on this show. And there was the main event as well that we'll get to. And yet, despite all that, despite what happened in that, and despite how that may or may not... I've spoken to him. He's not in a great place, obviously, but I said he's a professional. Mm-hmm. He said he's still going to show up a little bit later on.
Who's this?
Our good friend, one half of the former now tag team champions, Dirks. Oh,
sorry, useless twat.
You know our voices, guy.
Are you a New Year's Day guy, though? What did you make of Vampire to open the show?
Horrendous. Just awful, but...
the worst part of the show.
Yeah, the worst part of the show, but as a result, goated. Like, I mean, they're not, again, talk about like, NXT not being for people, this band are not for me, and they never will be, but they certainly like what they do, and it's... NXT's so dumb, and if this band were a band I actually liked, I'd be like, well, what are you doing here? Just go and do a gig somewhere. Or like, Vampires. That's the song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fit.
Yes.
It's the nicest thing I will say.
So Scarlett and Shotzi, of course, are hosts. They're dressed as Pinhead from Hellraiser and I believe Marie Antoinette to start the show. And they don't want to keep us waiting. Oh, we might lose our heads. So we get straight into the first match. It was the Devil's Playground match, complete with a bloody slide. And I mean that with literally, there was blood all over the slide and a swing set.
Unbelievable.
Why was there blood on the slide?
It was Roxanne.
So the implication, the implication of there being blood on a toy slide is that a child has tragically had a like horrific accident.
Yeah. But also spooky swings that you had to duck under.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's class.
It's so good. Wrestling's back.
It was Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James. Roxanne Perez came out as Freddy Krueger as well. As a jump start, they go to the floor. There was a sunset flip off the steps onto the floor by Perez for a near fall. And then Kiana cut Roxanne off with a laptop shot and takes control to take us to picture-in-picture. When we come back, they just get involved with all the weapons. There was like a chain, but it was so small, it looked like paper clips linked together. And
It's a business chain.
was it Kiana James who had that massive
Yes,
welt on it?
Yes.
hematoma. It looked like.
There was, the garbage can was used. There was the swing set. She just swung the swing into a slide. How did we not think of a seesaw, guys, on our preview yesterday?
Do you know as well? Like, because I'll tell you why. Because the seesaw looks way too cumbersome. Like, it's like a double-sized hacksaw Jim Duggan 2x4, like one of our seesaws. But this with the like a metal pipe with 2 seats, sort of ideal.
Yeah.
Like, it looks a bit like an oar. And I thought, a heavy old oar, you could use as a weapon. It's more interesting kendo stick.
Yes.
And then I think they broke off a bit of the picket fence as well.
That was great.
That was good.
Hurricane off the barricades countered. There's a power bomb that sends Perez into the trash can for a 2 count. James twats her with the seesaw. They fight. Perez gets knocked down, but she recovers enough to grab Kiana James's bag, shot to the face, then she hits Pop Rocks onto the loaded purse for the 1-2-3. Post-match, they empty the bag and a crushed brick falls out.
Bits of brick. I love this, man. Like, it was relentless. To be fair to them, it was relentless. So Kiana James comes in swinging that bag, and they don't stop. There's no resting. There's no like, right, I've got you where I want you. Now I'm going to pull like exaggerated facials. It was just on to the next thing, on to the next thing.
Yeah, minimal selling, but that's not what you watch a Devil's Playground match for.
Yeah.
And they probably were told, well, listen, have fun out there, but we've got 15 more matches, so you better get on with it.
Yeah.
So they just went for it. Yeah, there was just no room to stop and breathe and think, and it was all the better for it. It's kind of been a dumb feud, this, and they didn't try. In contrast to the Lights Out match later on, they didn't try to make this feel any more serious than it needed to be. It was pretty funny. Like, the choice of weapons, the bloody slide looked daft, but then when they're doing the tease, it reminds me of, you know, when Kurt Angle would always tease the German to the floor and not deliver. When they were teasing those first Germans to the slide, I'm going, oh my God, they're going to go through the slide. And then they allowed you to forget a bit. And it was like, Chekhov's bloody slide. It was brilliant.
Was it a Russian leg sweep on the slide?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And it broke. And
It's Halloween, I'll press the
it broke and bent. It was like,
not gnarly. Not really.
And then the bag of bricks was so funny. Got bricks, guys.
Also, I like the fact that, was it just a Pop Rocks, wasn't it?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
used. And it might have been a bag shot as well. I was like,
One shot and then she pop rocks.
if you're
on it.
building houses out of that, I'd be a little bit concerned.
Are you questioning the ethics of Kiana James' business?
Yeah.
A little backflip off the thing as well.
Yeah. Great stuff. Loved it.
Just stupid. Really stupid, but it was all action. Didn't get the chance to get bored. Didn't really get the chance to get emotionally invested, but it's NXT.
No, definitely not.
But it's NXT, so, you know.
How many women's matches? Women main evented. Women opened the show. It's like
five, maybe? Yeah.
Jeez.
Basically, it was a month and a half's worth of Dynamite women's matches on NXT last night.
And even then, not really, because most of them had like angles going into them.
Aye.
Yeah.
Then Vic Joseph
Teachable moment!
has a sit-down interview with Carmelo Hayes, and he just straight out asks him whether or not he attacked Trick Williams last week. And he's like, what is this? An interrogation or an interview? He says, sounds like everyone's assuming I'm guilty. That's crazy. And Vic says, all right, well, let's talk instead about, you know, your match against Ilya for the title next week. Now you're the challenger. Mello says, I have to ask myself how to beat Ilya. It's an emotional question. It's about motivation. It's not just about the title. It's about being him. Have I put in all this work and got all these achievements just to be second best? He says, look, next week, there's no what ifs. There's no Trick. There's no anything else. And Vic's like, why do you keep banging on about Trick, mate? He says, do you think you'd have been number one contender if Trick Williams had been in the four-way? And Mello pauses and takes off his sunglasses and says, absolutely. When the gloves are off, I do what I have to do. And he says, this one's for Trick, justice for Trick, and he storms off whilst Vic still wants to ask him more questions.
Yes. This, plus the interaction with the evil twins from The Shining later on, where I really enjoyed this because it was nice for Mello. He's clearly got something to sink his teeth into, and obviously they're steering you in one direction. But I think it's the best his character has been in months because it doesn't feel like he's just repeating the same stuff, and he's no longer this bland baby face. He's got, with the belt, he's got something to fight for, but now everybody thinks he's beating up his best mate, so he's kind of having to push back on that as well. Now, this week, NXT going so hard on this, well, you did it. Melo, you did it. The characters in this universe think you did it. So, like, us thinking it now is almost secondary to that.
Yeah.
Your own colleagues think you did it. I saw a tweet on this morning, and we always forget who did this, so I specifically asked if you could write it down for me.
Derek Clark, at Mr. Clarkerfella.
Fantastic take, right? Follow him and check out this take. A thing that we've been taking the piss out of on this podcast for weeks might have a direct impact on this story. So, remember Wesley doing the old...
Grumpy
I'm off, guys.
Wesley.
I'm off, I'll see you later. Well, I guess I'm going then. He's doing that behind Melo and Trick before Trick's won the North American title, before any of that stuff, saying, look, we're going to be mates forever. Nothing's going to get in the way. We're both going to rise up to the top together. Like back when Melo was champion, it all seemed good, but there was a little bit of...
Individual ambition on Trick's part.
You helped me win, but I don't need you. Well, yeah, I want to win titles too. And it's just Wesley, sad Wesley, packing his bag. Like, and he's kind of listening, he gives him a couple of glances, and then they're just like, oh, yeah, all right, whatever, see you later, Wes. And then they walk off, and he's just left still packing his bag. And Wesley is an unbelievable shout for the Trick Williams attacker. He was this guy that held he really cared about that North American title. He was screwed out of it, and he never really got a fair shot to get it back. Trick Williams all of a sudden just kind of like slides in, gets it, takes opportunity, like earns it, looks great doing it, loses it, but then immediately is given the opportunity to jump into the top title division. So it's like, I had it for like 2 days, and I did more with it than you did, Wesley. All you did was have class matches, and then nobody cared when you left. Motive and a genuine surprise and a cool heel turn. I think he's nailed it. I think that is the answer.
Yeah.
This is the sort of thing, if in fact, right, I can't believe I'm saying this about NXT, if in fact Wesley is revealed to be the attacker, like not only have they foreshadowed this, they have justified this, they have hidden it in plain sight. I mean, we didn't get this, right? And we like to think we're quite switched on, right? Between the foreshadowing, the motive, how it's all sort of like the narrative is overlapped to make Wesley feel all the more resentful of Trick. Like the way it's shaped multiple storylines which have woven in and out. That's AEW tier, what I expect of AEW tier, like narrative dexterity.
Because we wondered aloud when he was coming back without thinking about how that would play out, and never put these two things together. I'd love this to be it now.
I'd love it to be it.
And it's a good way of
theoretically deft dovetailing storytelling from NXT. Theoretically.
Potentially getting Wesley up into the big title picture as
definitely.
Well. Right.
Because Melo would want revenge, wouldn't he? If he hasn't done it and they're like, I'm really good at what happened to my mate, and if I find the guy, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
There's your match.
Right. The Metaphor are getting a tarot card reading from Scarlett and Shotzi. They're going to be starting a great journey, but their joy will soon turn to intense grief. They're sort of a bit concerned by all this, and they distract themselves so much that Akira Tozawa can sneak in the background and steal the Heritage Cup.
He's a busy boy, Akira Tozawa, isn't he? All sorts of wacky things on Mondays and Tuesdays. This cup.
Look,
this cup sucks.
Bad stories and bad matches.
Yes, but you have to say, if this is what I think it's leading to next week with the Creepy House, means to an end. Like, if you're going to do it with anything, maybe you don't have a stealing angle with your world title. You have it with the little Heritage Cup, and they take it to a creepy house.
The Metaphor have got to get it back.
So many games to play on next week's preview.
Have we?
Well, of the creepy house. Anything can happen in a creepy house.
Oh, the Metaphor could be like Scooby-Doo and the gang, couldn't they?
Yes.
Like a Metaphor mystery machine. And then there's like
Oh my God.
It hasn't happened yet.
a reveal thing at the end where it's like, it's up, man, Akira Tozawa.
But then you've got, who's Akira Tozawa just align himself with?
Alpha Academy.
And they could do creepy stuff in the creepy house as well.
Oh, that's actually really great. Imagine Otis is a ghost. Imagine Otis is a ghost.
Okay.
It's not going like, it's going like, rather than going, woo. It's just making Otis noises.
Okay.
It's Indie Hot. That's Otis. In the sheet.
Right, we're going to talk about the
Imagine it, Sid. Go on.
No.
The former Brian Pillman Jr., now, of course, Lexis King. He had his in-ring debut here, came out on a little throne.
Didn't he just get like, was it a throne with wheels?
It was a throne with wheels, and he was like, I'm the king, doesn't care about being the king. And then he was supposed to get up in time with the music, and he missed his cue.
He said,
it's like the music went, come out! And then he was like, I'm already up now. Come out!
he said, Brian Pillman's dead, long live Lexis King. He's facing Dante Chen,
Quite clever, that.
who
I get it.
got a little bit I thought this was going to be a really short squash match. Dante actually got in some
Yeah,
decent
probably should have been, actually.
Yeah, Dante got in some decent offense. He fought back up after Lexis was controlling early on. Atomic drop, pump kick. But he spent too long posing, got nailed with a super kick, and we got it wrong. We were guessing Lexis King's new finisher. It was the draping, spinning neck breaker, sort of akin to Randy Orton's move, but with a spin to it, basically. And he says, my way, my life, after the match.
Well, you say we got it wrong. Yesterday on the preview, I said, look, remember how in WWE when they didn't trust any of the wrestlers and they'd give them all roll the dice? Like, what's the new version of that? There isn't one. They've just had him do a drape and roll the dice instead.
Actually, did I say Kingmaker neck breaker?
There you go. So we got it bang right between us.
So basically, in the words of Taz, bingo! Make of Lexis King's debut.
Bit of cheeky in it.
Looks great, doesn't he?
Well, he decides to come to the big leagues and decides to get in shape and it looks like really cut. So congratulations to him, I guess, for that. The timing is quite funny. It is. It's quite funny. Congratulations to Lexis King. You have now ascended to the level of half decent, quite sharp work rate guy who didn't blow me away, which means that you are the most improved wrestler of 2023 because, my God, in AEW was just... I'm going to do a retro 90s flyer style.
Why?
Good luck with that. No, he's got himself in decent nick.
Pillman Jr. had this spot in the Malachi Black match, and we weren't sure if it was a shoot botch or like a corrupted botch.
Aye.
Yeah.
Because Pac had done it and he'd been corrupted.
Pac had done it when he'd been corrupted.
Well, it was like a vision thing as well, wasn't it? His
Vision
eye was
thing,
corrupted,
yeah.
so he couldn't properly see.
He didn't have the depth perception to pull off a springboard.
Just remember.
And I don't think Brian Pillman Jr. has got perception full stop. So, yeah, true.
Was that
sorry.
around the same storyline? Yeah, where was he meant to miss Brian Pillman Jr. and it basically just went in the air and went slightly on?
No, he's meant to miss Julia Hart.
That was it.
Pillman
Sorry,
couldn't
yeah.
decide whether he should sell it or not. Oh, it's sort of in my general area.
It's vaguely near me. That.
Aye. This was a creditable performance, maybe.
Yeah.
Chase, you were warming up backstage ahead of their tag title match. They thank Thea and JC for being in their corner, and Thea's a little bit throwing a bit of shade around, saying like, "Don't worry, I won't throw in the towel." And then here comes Tony D and Stax, who say, "Couldn't ask for better opponents."
Ah, yes, terrible.
Awful Stack's voice.
Duke's not sure to what to make of that, but Andre Chess says, "Don't worry about it. More on that later." They put him at the top of the hour. Obviously, they did put your big stars at the top of the hour. Semi-finals of the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. It was Ariana Grace versus Kalani Jordan. At the moment they mentioned in commentary, because I completely forgot about this, that Kalani was in last year's tournament but had to leave through injury.
I'd forgotten that.
I went, oh, cool, so she's making the final. But I enjoyed this match. I really like the Ariana Grace character of, like, kiss my hand to start the match, and no one ever does it, obviously. Grace gets sent out to the floor early on. We go to a break. We come back. Jordan grabs a suplex, but gets caught with a swinging neck breaker. Jordan gets sent to the apron, but comes back in with a sunset flip. She comes back with a clothesline as well. The flipping leg drop gives, I thought that looked good, with Kalani Jordan gets a 2 count. Grace sends her throat first into the top rope, but she gets knocked off the top, and Jordan split-legged moonsault sends her through to the final.
I thought this was pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I expected so much more. Not that we didn't get it, but like I knew the other side of the bracket was where the potentially like really great match was.
Not really great.
I was just, as I heard myself
Yeah.
say really great, I was like, Sid's going to pick me up on that, and he's right. to
Yes.
do it.
We could always go to the nth degree, don't
Yeah.
we? I hate this. Actually, I'm just...
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah.
Like there was always going to be a good side of the bracket.
YouTube brain.
And then like Gary Lineker, like maybe, like this. I didn't give this much of a chance, to be honest. But they've both sort of impressed me over the course of this tournament. Like this NXT. Is it not a developmental? Will never be quite right because you're only ever one match away from something that will be chasing critical acclaim or wrestlers that are years beyond even needing a system like this. But as a result, like if you measure expectations accurately, I think you get a bit more fun out of these. I genuinely quite enjoyed this, and Kalani in particular is so much better. I don't mean it always feels like we're burying Dana Brooke, and I don't mean to. It feels like she's so much better not playing the trainee.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like she was probably. Not that she was too good for that, but she just didn't particularly need to be cast in that light, and things have better since.
I think you're overrating the match personally, but, you know, they're incredibly new at this. It's one of those where it's like, I can't say anything. It's like...
They're breaking out.
It's like, you know, reviewing my sixth form poetry. I wouldn't want anyone to do that.
I was just thinking how much I would love you to do that.
If we ever get a Patreon, one of the tiers has got to be.
Never kept it. Never kept it. I'll tell you where some of it. Some of the bumping and feeding here was horrendous. But yeah, it's fine.
I loved the finish. I thought they looked great. Tell you what else I loved, and what brilliant work yet again from HBK. You know, the other week he said, "Oh, I can have another bit of Cody Rhodes actually after the big week where we take it on AEW," and in reality, it was just Ilya saying, "Oh, Cody told me that Trick's in the match." How do you get people to tune in? You promised Von Wagner both nights, right? We assumed it was going to be last night, the Robert Stone versus Braun Breaker match, but it's actually next week. This week, though, you still get a bit of Von, because we're at the physical therapy facility. The bandage on Von's head's got bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's deteriorated.
Yeah. They want it to illustrate that he's racing through his recovery, but he's apparently made himself worse doing that.
Yeah. He's on that. He's doing the.
I think it's because his brain's expanding. It's just his head getting bigger.
He's slowly trying to learn to walk again effectively after having his head caved in by Bron Breakker. And
It's a bit much.
Von's like,
Bit heavy, isn't
what
it?
the hell are you doing, Robert, taking a match with Bron Breakker? Do you have a death wish? Robert Stone says, look, Von, I know I'm going to get my ass goddamn kicked. But if I can get in a single punch or a single slap to avenge my friend, it'll be worth it. And, I can't believe... I was on the verge of tears for large parts of this show. But the moment Von says, we are friends, and Robert Stone's like, of course, goddamn it, Von, we're friends. And Von's got a friend.
Von's got a mate, honestly.
God, friend me.
You got it.
Honestly, how does this work, man? I mean, it's absolute bobbins. It's poorly acted.
Yeah, you show it to anyone else, they'll be like,
What are you doing? I'm just, like, inordinately affected by this.
He's enchanting Von Wagner, isn't he?
He's
charming.
He's charming me.
Charmed me.
he says, look, he can't be there next week.
Like, yeah, it's absolutely... Let's face it. I mean, the guy is like, you know, relearning how to walk and not doing a very good job of this incredibly, like, imagine giving that to Von Wagner. I mean, away. It's like giving, you know, the most weighty, like, historical Romanian war drama to, like, Jim Carrey. Or to him. And saying, can you pull that off? I mean, it's so bad. And I hate that it gets like praise. Like, oh, you know, Shawn Michaels is cooking. Like, is he? Like, look, it's crap.
You know,
it's
like,
fundamentally crap, but I'm affected by it.
You know, when you see that like very simple, like keys to life, motivational sort of thing, when times are really hard, and they have been for Von Wagner lately, there's that like, it's very, very basic, but it can be very helpful. It's just get up and just try and put one foot in front of the other. Like, because Von only deals in literal things, he's like, great. I will get up and I will put one foot in front of the other. What great advice.
Yeah, you see,
therapists are not just for intercourse.
Yeah. He's learning to walk again, but he's learning to love for the first time. So,
A bit like the Painmaker. Von Wagner, the Painmaker.
I bloody hope. I wish he was.
what was the Painmaker stick again? Was it Intergalactic or something?
Intergalactic serial killer, but what if he could feel love? What if he fell in love?
With the Von
Spider-Man's
Wagner-
time's over. We've had enough Spider-Man. It's time for the Painmaker.
With the Von Wagner Appreciation Society.
Yes, we
With
are.
the VWAS.
Yeah,
VWAS in my mind.
he says...
It's in my mind. How small is it?
So he's a scalpel.
he says, I wish I could go out there
I've got
next...
the time on my mind because the surgeon left his watch in there.
I wish I could go out there next week, but I'm not ready. Robert Stone says, don't worry, man, I got this. Next week's for you. And he leaves. And
He does not have, in fact, got this.
no, he's going to get his ass handed to him. But Von has redoubled his efforts to recover.
You know,
I'm not ruling out him showing up next week.
Of course, it's going to be amazing.
I don't think he is going to show up next week.
Oh.
He's going to, like Robert Stone, is going to get his ass handed to him. And then
But it's Halloween.
Robert Stone's going to turn up in the same recovery unit that Von's in, and it's going to flip, and Von's going to help him. You have done so much for me, let's help you. And like,
But it's Halloween and Frankenstein. We've been through this
I know,
multiple times.
They've worked out an interesting new technique to help your recovery, and it's electrocuting you.
Yes.
That's it.
He's
the switch.
a doctor character with a switch.
It's going to happen. So I don't know why.
What's this so weird?
Right, Scarlett and Shotzi are one of them's Edward Scissorhands now, and they're plugging their brilliant YouTube show that we previewed yesterday. Previously, it's had Drew McIntyre playing a piano in a creepy house. Now it's going to have the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
I'll probably watch that.
Doing something spooky on there. But here comes the Creeds, Diamond Mine. I suppose technically Ivy Nile was with them. And they want Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, but they want it with a little bit of extra spice. So they get Ivy Nile to spin the wheel and make the deal, and we get tables, ladders, and scares.
And I'll probably rule.
They'll probably kick ass.
I was like, it's spinning around. I was like, it was, because they're all basically variations of no DQ matches, aren't they? But it was like, and I was like, it's like casket match. I was like, no. And then I completely forgot. And I was like, tables, ladders, and chairs. Wait a second. Table, ladders, and squares. I was like, yes, the best.
I hate you.
It's the best.
Like,
this is so my product, NXT.
Like, what does Tony Khan have to do? Tony Khan at this point.
Puns.
Like, at this point, it's pathetic. Tony Khan has to dumb his product down for you to praise it. Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I did see Coal Miner's Glove, and I was imagining, like, you've got these two kick-ass tag teams having a ripper, and then, like, Julius Creed just has to climb a pole.
There you go. Julius Creed and a ladder.
I can't wait.
Preemptive. And I know I tell
God.
you off for pressing buttons when you just get ahead of yourself. Stop getting ahead of yourself. Preemptive
Oh my God.
for Julius Creed and oh my God, he's going to do the
And Brutus Creed.
Brutus Creed.
Yeah.
He's going to do the cannonball off the top of a ladder.
Oh my God.
You better believe it. Like, it's going to be
again-
the new Edge Jeff Hardy spear, because he's going to be doing it onto thingy's shoulders as well, like, for the big finishing sequence. They really find the
my
cage match
God.
this year. They're going to kick ass.
2021 AEW, I had to stop myself from being such a mark that I would fantasy book spots in the review and not save it for the preview. Because I was up a height about thinking about it. What's happened to me?
You know what? Just like NXT, you leveled up.
You'll be pleased to know, by the way, this week, guys, I've been a professional.
No, you haven't.
I went to the toilet before this show. So I'm
Oh,
absolutely
right, okay.
fine. Not going anywhere. Especially not for this next bit. Because the Creeds are out there. Another reason why I thought if we're going to retain, because Tony D and Stacks come out and there's a moment between them. Here comes the tag champs out first. And Tony D and Stacks come out for their tag team championship match against Chase Hughes, Andre Chase, and Duke Hudson, accompanied, of course, by Thea Hale and JC Jane. Brilliant match, of course, with these four individuals. Stacks hits a nice-looking dive onto Chase and Hudson to take us to a break early on. When we come back, Stacks misses an elbow drop. That allows Chase to bring in Duke Hudson, one of the best hot tags in the business. He hits a boss man slam for a near fall. D'Angelo comes back in, takes over, nice spine buster to Andre Chase. But middle rope, elbow into a German suplex, gives Stacks a near fall, but Chase is then back up for the Chase Hughes spelling stomps. They hit the Power and Glory superplex, or at least their version of it, do the family. And then
Oh my God.
breaking up with a pinfall by having Duke Hudson German suplex Tony D'Angelo onto the pile.
Oh my God.
I love it when wrestlers throw other wrestlers at other wrestlers. I'm so stupid sometimes. I just love it.
Did you have that thing where, like, it took you a second because you saw Tony D in a flash of colour and you're like, why are you breaking up? And then you fully put together what's just happened. Oh, Jesus Christ, give me a replay. And then they give you a replay.
So good. So they set up for the bada bing, bada boom. That gets broken up. Chase gets a sunset flip, gets a 2. And I was like, okay, very nice. Let's take it home now. Give the family the titles. But JC Jane gets involved. She slides in a crowbar for Andre Chase, but in a...
Oh! Teachable moment!
For her, he turns it down. She hops up onto the apron. Tony gets sent into it, bumps her. She goes down. He gets distracted by her getting knocked off the apron. Andre Chase gets the roll up. 1, 2, 3. The family aren't tag champs anymore, but Chase U are. And Jane and Hale celebrate. The Chase U section of the audience, huge pops. I was semi-devastated, obviously, for our good personal friend. But if it was going to be anyone, goddamn do I love me some Chase U.
I love this. This was so basic and yet so heated. And often there's this like real inauthenticity of this, the sounding, not because they're piping it in, like I know they do a bit on Raw, but
So they do a load of it on NXT, and I've gotten two egregious examples.
But not even because of that. Like just sometimes some of them fans, I don't buy that. You know, they're the worst for the "this is awesome" chant over nothing.
This is awesome.
Like, but people were just buying into this. Part of it is the Duke Hudson hot tag. Part of it is I just think, like, to be fair, like, and I like the show for what it is as much as what it ain't. And these
What it ain't.
These characters are so dumb that I love them. So I am actually engaged in them winning belts. It's like this tiny moment where the stupid fiction they're in feels real because oh yeah, they're wrestlers. They're not just teachers, students, and mafiosos. They want to win titles, and it's this weird coming together that you don't expect. So I was fully invested in this. I was rooting for the title change. Don't tell Stacks if he is about. And I loved that they went to the same finish when Chase got his original teachable moment. He doesn't really, considering that he teaches everybody about the hows, wheres, and whys of pro wrestling, he's not really good at it. And they kind of like lean in on that. He's not really got this like killer death blow finisher. He's just opportunistic and spots the opportunity. And I really love that as well for him winning for that group. JC Jane has won me all the way over. She has charmed me.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously she's like still a badass. And like, but again, she's done nothing but good in Thea Hale's life. This continues, like, unabated. And the bit where they're celebrating, and she herself at this point is trying not to be anti-cryptid by Chase U. She's like, do whatever. And then she kind of sees him with a belt, like, all right, but I'm going to do it my way. But I'm still doing it. And, like, it's Thea Hale starting to, like, fall in love with Chase U again because she was just buzzing that they'd won the belts. It's so great.
You know how I've used a lofty comparison?
2021
AEW, and I've got a little bit of those vibes from this week's edition of NXT. This Chase U business reminds me of a limited series that aired on Showtime in 2017. It's called Twin Peaks: The Return. In Twin Peaks: The Return, right, okay, there are two halves of one person, formerly or presently, it's all very vague, called Dale Cooper. That entity was ripped in half through his visit to the Black Lodge 25 years prior to the events of Twin Peaks: The Return. Marauding around the world, the physical realm, is his evil doppelganger doing untold evil. Then, through an electrical socket, the pure essence of a man formerly known as Dale Cooper, the very pure good of him, is manifest as a character called Dougie Jones. Okay? Yeah. And he wanders through Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's just this pure force of good, and he positively affects everybody's life who he comes into contact with. Mild, minor spoilers for a 6-year-old limited series follow. He meets a homeless woman who's fallen on hard times in a casino. She wins it big at the jackpot. There are corrupt insurance salesmen who see the error of their ways and become good. Chase U is Dougie Jones. People try and corrupt it from the inside. Heels have a nefarious plan to use it. I don't know why, but they want to do this. Okay, they want to corrupt Chase U, and yet it's such this pure force of good that they themselves become good.
It's true.
They're gonna just take over the world and be good. It's lovely. This match, there was no selling in it, really. It was just all action. Some of the moves were really goddamn hot.
Oh my god.
Like, no sophistication, no selling, just pretty action-packed. Get in, get out, do the finish, new champs. And pretty unceremonious, really, but it was a lot of fun. This was the most fun version of a moves happening in front of me NXT match.
You know, in 96, when WCW, and it kind of ruined it a little bit, but the whole point was, you stick an NWO shirt on someone, they're an over heel. so we'll do the recruitment drive. Is this like the babyface version of that? Are they one day going to get to the main roster? It's like, oh, so-and-so's really struggling. Stick them in Chase U.
Stick him and chase you.
Have them want to infiltrate Chase U and then fall in love with the
Chase
institution.
U.
Give them that red T-shirt. Sorted. Problem solved. Tick, tick, tick.
Brilliant.
The digit to win.
Well,
Kind
Need a
of.
rematch. Money rematch. Right there. Main event for me.
money. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Money in the Wilbur
is it-
House. I'll
is this-
throw all my money at it.
Is this a growth product? It's the growth product
It
in
is.
professional wrestling.
It was a bit of cheating, but it wasn't the worst cheating. It wasn't the crowbar.
No.
It's a bit like Andre Chase's ethics were tested, if not completely exposed.
Yeah. He faced his shadow self
And he said, not today.
and he said, I'm not going to. He did not face his shadow self with imperfect courage.
Did he give his shadow self technically a...
Oh, teachable moment! Teachable
Ruined two
moment!
bits for me. That was an extended bit, and now it's real.
Can you hear anything or... No?
Nah, I can't hear anything.
Normally your eyes are on this time. Well, let's move... Oh, sorry. I just got a message on here. I should really have my messages turned off.
Yeah,
That's
turn them
recording.
off.
But,
Turn them off next
it's-
week.
Well, it is important because it is, we're talking about the best show of the week.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the biggest show of the month next month. And that is, of course, the Dadley Boyz live on tour. Tickets still available. Very, very limited
few.
tickets still available at whatculture.com/tickets. It goes down on Tuesday, November 21st at the Mosaic Tap in Newcastle upon Tyne. Do join us for that one. And you can even get yourself a special limited edition T-shirt as part of that deal as well. Whatculture.com/tickets. But as I mentioned that, I completely forgot. We've got a quick meeting I have to nip to sort of iron out some of the particulars with that.
All right.
So I tell you
that's
what,
fair enough,
you give us your final thoughts on the tag title change and then just carry on reviewing the show. And if I'm back in time, I'll try and get back for the main event. But yeah, your final thoughts on the tag title change.
The main event, there's loads left before that.
He gets weird about it, doesn't he? NXT, it's his show. What do you reckon, Sage? Like, we talked about Jace Jane, Andre Chase. Like, Thea Hale, does she see the light or is she the opposite to what you're saying? And she's actually the one that turns against all of this?
Well, I don't know. I think ultimately, as an institution, Chase U is a force of good. Maybe Thea Hale is like, I don't know. Oh,
hey,
hi, Stacks.
Oh, guys.
We're all right, but more importantly, how are you?
Not great, to be honest, guys. Not sure if you saw, but I'm not a goddamn tag champ no more.
No,
We were just talking about that, yeah.
We always just talk about that, and then
Hey,
you come in.
It seems weird how you are so close.
Congratulations to Chase U.
Yeah, yeah.
Great
Ah.
bunch of guys.
Very magnanimous of you.
Sporting.
I want a rematch. Believe we are owed it, and who knows, maybe two-time tag champs.
Two who? Two-time.
Two-time.
Okay, sorry.
So
Don't say his goddamn name again.
we didn't.
You've been sleeping with the goddamn fishes. Sage, what's the deal with elephants? Huh?
Elephants.
Yeah, I thought I did. We did Judgment Daisy. How's it going? Last week, and I thought I didn't want Nelly to miss out, especially because they were talking in the Vic Joseph chat with Mel. I'm not sure if you heard, but he mentioned the elephant in the room. So,
Nice to be getting shouted out on TV.
indeed,
So, Stacks, you'd like to know the deal with elephants.
what is the deal with that great thing over there, huh?
Well, the elephant over there, and indeed the elephant as a species, is the largest living land mammal. They are herbivores. They, you don't really get to do this, do you, Stacks?
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha ha ha
Name two extinct relatives of the elephant.
Oh, extinct animals. The dodo,
Obviously not, Stacks.
the woolly mammoth. Hey! Got the brains of the operation over here.
And as is custom, you've used two of your three guesses, so you've got one shot to get it right. I hope you don't, because I can take your catchphrase back on you.
You know, the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's good, but it's not right. At the Mastodon.
Oh,
The wrestler?
Vader.
No. They're the largest living land animal, close extinct relatives of which are the mammoth and the mastodon. They are herbivores and do something with water, hence why they live nearest, if they can, to bodies of water with the trunks. I don't know what it is.
You remind me there of that Friends bit we were really enjoying together the other week. What was it? And that would be our friend. Like Monica's boring boyfriend.
Yes, masquerading as a nut. Yeah. Yes, so and that's the deal with elephants.
Thanks for letting me know that, Sid. You know, I got the memory of an elephant, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, I once saw an elephant. 3 jokes, 3 questions for you. Question number 1, Sid. What did the elephant say to the naked man, huh?
Usually he goes blue with the third joke, so I'm really glad he's getting it out of the way.
Yes, that's definitely
sorry, the punchline. Sorry, the setup.
What did the elephant say to the naked man?
I don't think much of your trunk. Because he's looking at his gag.
And he's got a massive trunk. Yeah.
Why's your trunk so low? His gag. Why is your trunk so low?
Oh, it's close. Not right, though. What did the elephant say to the naked man? How do you breathe through that tiny thing, huh? Of course, he wouldn't.
It's about his gag.
Yeah, about his gag.
Of course, he wouldn't say that to me. But Hamlet, got a big old cock. Hamlet, what do you do?
Oh, that's what you meant, Stack. Sorry.
Nuance. What do you do if an elephant comes in your window, huh?
You swim.
Exactly. Wait a second, I believe you got a button for this one. Bingo! You swim for your goddamn life. That's right, CG.
Because it's a big animal, there'll be lots of ejaculate.
Isn't coming can mean two different things in this situation.
That's what you meant by nuance.
Yeah. Final question for you, CG. What do you get when you cross elephant DNA with human DNA, huh?
Pretty ugly fucking baby.
Good. Isn't that right, though? What do you get when you cross elephant DNA with human DNA? A lifetime ban from the zoo. Goddamn telling. See you later, guys.
No, dear, that's wrong.
So what happens when we let his bye, Stacks.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. What I
Well, Stacks doesn't normally use the buttons.
We need some WD-40 because that door is making some weird noises.
Oh, hang on. One of the guys who's just been in the meeting. Can you shut that door for us? Thanks.
It sounded a bit different, but I still think we need some WD-40.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it sounds like I needed WD-40 to begin with because it's a very squeaky door.
You're only just picking that up now. We're not off DIY.
Yeah. Stack told some really pretty gross jokes today.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Who about? Or what about it?
Elephant
sex
Oh,
stuff.
Nelly would have liked that.
Sounds like the noise of the gold finger.
Yeah, what talent on Nelly.
Nelly can cue.
And she is the talent, if you ask Stacks.
This is worse than when he was sucking off the udders.
Yes.
I'm glad we didn't have the cameras back then, eh? Yeah. Right, it's time for some hard-hitting home truths.
Don't forget what you're seeing, though.
It's hard-hitting home truths with one Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Put it all really put it all together. No, you people know I'm fast. But I also tell the truth. I've got 20 fucking gimmicks.
Yeah.
Not one fucking one of them's over.
I was more over when he called me fucking Ben.
Yeah. He brought back hard-hitting home truths for 1 week to announce he's fighting for the North American title next week. And he's had a bad night last year, but he's going to be better this year and faster.
What did he do last year again?
Hang on.
Oh, God.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
What did Nathan Fraser do this time last year at Halloween Havoc?
Stack's going to let you in.
God, I fucking hope not.
Either match of the night or funny costume. But I couldn't tell you which.
Probably match of the night.
Yeah.
Against maybe he lost to Axiom.
Hell of a run. Hang on, let's see.
You lost to Axiom.
No, Axiom was busy facing Javier Barnal in a dark
I
match.
miss Big Body Javi.
Yeah.
Did he do that with script? Nathan Fraser.
I don't think so.
It was a ladder match for the vacant NXT North American Championship.
Shawn Michaels booked that.
Won by
Won by?
Wesley.
Yes, also featuring Nathan Fraser.
Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller.
No, Grayson Waller was in another match, actually, that I might need to see if I can find a really
God.
old.
Better I know who that was against. Now I know what you're looking for. I think he was probably fighting Apollo Greasage.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that means.
Oh, God, I do know what that
on
means.
YouTube.
So Nathan Fraser.
Axiom.
No, Axiom was working
Okay.
Bernal.
Not remember 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Who else was kicking around the North American scene back then? Ilya?
3 more to get. Ilya was in the main event
3-way was it?
with JD McDonough and Bran Breaker.
Bailed. Thanks for taking those bumps, guys.
Yeah, no.
It's been a year.
Mello,
Right, yeah.
Mellow.
Checks out.
Oro Mensah,
Bloody hell.
and Von Wagner.
Thanks, guys.
But yeah, Apollo Crews had a spin the wheel, make the deal match. Pick a number between 1 and 19.
4.
With the casket match with Grayson Waller.
Sage, pick a number.
Picking up, hang on, sorry, 1 second. Picking up, mate. 1 to 19. Oh, hang on, I've got an advert. I've got to wait till this Fart World app adverts goes off.
You got a Halloween one?
No, they haven't got a themed one, unless I've just not updated it.
Okay.
What happens if I press more farts? Oh god, I have to pay £4.99 a month.
This is really not worth it for that.
14.
Thanks, guys. Do you want to explain the Apollo thing, or are we just leaving it at night without he had pink eye, didn't he?
He had pink eye because somebody farted on his pillow. That's how that happened.
Roxanne Perez versus
I hate
Corey.
that word so much.
Pillow. I know the camera's pointing at us, but you don't have to put on a red light.
Shut up.
Roxanne Perez.
Tosser.
Roxanne Perez versus
We're such a class team, aren't we? Come to the live show. You get more of this in person.
Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade in a Weapons Wild match. Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp in an ambulance match. I think that kicked ass, if I remember.
Probably not.
If Julius had lost, then Brutus Creed would have had to leave NXT. Mandy Rose versus Alba Fire for the NXT Women's Championship. And then, yeah, Braun defeated Ilya and JD McDonough. So, yeah, best of luck to Nathan.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Next week.
Dominic Mysterio kicks his quick ass.
Yep.
There was a video package with a load of Irish fans basically giving their thoughts on the main event. And then Baron Corbin was backstage with Mackenzie, who gets asked about his loss last week. He says, I hate triple threats. I did everything I could to win that match. But Mello took the credit after I did all the work. I did everything in my power to win. And Mackenzie's like, does that mean you took out Trick Williams? He's like, I didn't like Trick, but if I was going to take him out, I'd do it to his face. Maybe it was Dijak. Maybe it was that quitter Wesley. Maybe it was his best friend Mello. All I'm concerned about is Ilya Dragunov. Ilya better have his head on a swivel.
Well, if it is Wesley, Baron Corbin gets to say that he was right and more people should listen to him, which I suppose will help. I'm not terribly interested in Corbin on NXT. I like him, but not here. It was a very, very wacky week and there was no place for him.
Lights out. Next, Blair Davenport versus Gigi Dolin. Early days, Dolin sends Blair outside. It's a dive off the apron, but gets hit with a knee as she goes back inside. Davenport takes it back out to the floor and sends her into the steps. But Dolin fights back and sends her into a chair to take us to a break. When we come back, the crowd are chanting for tables, and Davenport teased setting one up, but then denied the fans. There's more weapons. Dolin whips her with a belt. Davenport fights back, sets up a table at ringside, but Dolin has recovered enough to nail her with a trash can in the face. There's some running drop kicks. Davenport's in a bit of trouble, but she sends Dolin into the steps, and they get on the announcer's table. A Falcon Arrow sends Dolin through the other table that's been set up. They go back inside after Bit of selling. And Davenport knees her in the face to get the 1, 2, 3.
It's fitting this is Halloween Havoc because, in my opinion, the spookiest button we have needs airing here.
Ooh.
Because Gigi Dolan was the first wrestler in a while to get down with the Sidgwick.
Oh.
If we've got that.
Down with the Sidgwick.
It's the knock-in for me. Gigi Dolan went through that table.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
Swiveling like that Three Stooges guy.
It was.
What are you doing?
It was
What are you
so
freaking doing?
It was so funny, and it exposed that bump so much. I've often said, I'd quite like to go through a table.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it's so over. I do. What a pleasing crunch.
Yes.
What a lovely visual.
Shape, the noise, the...
Yeah, it works. Like, absolutely gangbusters. That's why they do it every single week. That's why they chant, "We want tables." It just looks like it's like a quite fun, cool thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like a chair to the face, which I'm obviously not going to want to happen to me. And then she just bumped, and it was like, it was fine. And she went, push.
Traveling through time.
She looked like bloody Eric if you put him on his back. And not being funny, she just flailed. And at that exact moment, you got the artificial rush of crowd noise whoosh, through the speakers. It's like, this is the most fake shit I've seen in ages.
I get why this had to be, in inverted commas, serious. This is the end of a feud sort of thing.
This match was poor.
Charmless plunder, like that sat in stark contrast to quite a fun opener. This did less than nothing for me because the one thing it did do for me was kind of make me laugh at it with the table bump. So they would have really hurt each other at points, but so little bit landed as a viewer.
No one went through a slide in this one.
No. Slides are good. We decided this yesterday.
We did.
Ilya Dragunov's
Super
got
Mario 64 is my favorite game of all time because you get to go on 2 slides. No, you get to go on 3 slides, actually. 3 slides.
Yeah, this is to come for you very, very soon. You know, soft plays. Favorite slide at the favorite slide at the soft play, the mystery tube slide or the big ass blue slide, like the
big ass blue.
You go for the big ass one
Because
it's a mystery with a tube on there.
with a tube on, it's
Where's
like
the
I'm too big.
Yeah,
I'm too
can be a
big.
bit-
And what if a little ankle biters hasn't moved in time? And I honestly always think like, well, I was like, Charlotte's always like, well, I want to go on. I want to go on with you. Well, I might kick some kid's head off. You know what I mean? Got like a clear trajectory down.
Yeah. When you were little, though, when you were actually going to soft play as a kid, or whatever the version of when we were, because they weren't around, we're so old, the ones into the ball pits. Just so
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
You'll get them with Eric, but like they're kind of, once your kids are like 4 or 5, pretty much they're too big from, let alone you. You are the full length of the slide.
Still trying.
I'm in the ball pit. I was at the top of the
ball pit.
You can still try him.
Big ones that are so big that like they have a like slightly dodgy fares where there's absolutely no insurance. They have to get in like a burlap sack. I like them ones.
Wilborn, I don't know how I came across this, right? I think there's some kind of thing called Slide World in Chesterfield.
What? No, I've seen the advert for this. It's the American Chesterfield because I saw the exact same thing. It's been listening to our conversations. Yeah, because I was like, how do I not know about this already? But it's like Alabama's Chesterfield.
Oh, for God's sakes, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Should we do a live show there?
I'm going to look it
Slide
up.
World, Alabama.
I'll look it up. But there's a ball pit bar in Newcastle, isn't there? And Louise has been there.
Just have a
For kids. Stop making kids things for adults. Adults have got to eat them.
You watch NXT?
You don't. Fair. You don't make pubs for kids. You know, don't make ball pits for adults.
You eat cereal, you have crisp sandwiches, you watch NXT, you love the Fed.
Yeah, I'm kind of banged to rights here. All right, I just don't like wacky adult excursion like that. It's like it's a poor excuse for team building. Gives like office managers that are not very
It's
good at
giving
their job
offers.
an easy out.
Yeah.
It's giving offers.
It's giving offers.
It's serving.
There's so much swearing on this podcast.
Sorry, Wilbur.
It's all right. Ilya Dragunov has a sit down. I'm trying to find this slide.
On a slide.
But I'm not allowed.
Whoa, that looked like Sidge. Ilya Dragunov on a slide.
Very quick.
Imagine him with like Crash Holly's hardcore title trying to escape. Just go to a soft play. Like he keeps getting hit with those like big soft things. I love it. Not hard enough.
It's too soft.
He needs to go to a hard
You
play.
need hard play?
Soft play, but it's just all bricks.
Go to hard play. That's gone green.
That one.
Camera. Aye. That good?
That one.
What's that doing?
That one. The giant. That's the big slide place, isn't it? There she
In
is.
Chesterfield.
Stephanie Rothman's there for Fox 2 St. Louis. It's not the one we were hoping for. But hey, who knows? Dadley Boyz World Tour.
Yep. Slide World.
We're going to Alabama.
That'd be so great, wouldn't it? Imagine that. Huge audience in Alabama.
Yeah.
Next live show, Newcastle, Alabama.
But if you do want to get to our live show, the one that's happening for now is available at wildculture.com/tickets. Ilya Dragunov talks about how everything's just basically been worth it now. His son's held his NXT title. It's a special moment. As for Carmelo Hayes, obviously now the dynamics change. He's the champion. Melo's the challenger. But he's not got a chance, basically, says Ilya. This title now represents 30 years of sacrifice. I'm unbesiegbar. Sort of
He
thing.
did legitimately mention that he liked Pain in this promo. I'm not making it up. He did.
It's going to be a very different Halloween Havoc next week because it's going to be very serious. A show headlined by this cannot have a Devil's Playground.
Well,
In the
no,
opener
they've
can-
got the spooky
course it
house.
You reckon?
They've gone to the spooky house for the Heritage Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Light and shade. That's the beauty of this show.
Good luck trying to make this feel serious and big time after that then.
I'm sure he'll try.
I think that's going on afterwards. Spooky house
Smashing
main
his own
event, mate.
face in. You will.
Ilya Dragunov for that hard play.
Hard play.
Anyway, Melo's watching backstage when the twins from The Shining show up and say, basically, you're the one who attacked Trick. And he's like, no, I didn't. Piss off. Go and bother someone else.
It's good.
As you mentioned, everything looks...
Who played them?
Shotzi and Scotland.
Yeah. Just in case the listeners...
Oh, yeah, sorry. I
viewers,
did just say the twins, and that could possibly be a new tag team. That's
Yeah.
a very good point.
All the actual children from The Shining, grown up. Yeah, you should have made yourself clear.
They were effective hosts, I thought.
Yeah.
Added quite a lot to it.
Speaking of twins, Tiffany Stratton is...
Oh my god.
It's backstage. Where everyone's in nice fancy dress. There's like characters from The Nightmare Before Christmas and things like that in the background.
Did you see the Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I think I briefly saw someone walk.
Just sat there like two belts on. Sniff. Brilliant.
And Sarah Schreiber's interviewing Tiffany, which Tiff really likes. She prefers this. She likes her already. And she says, to be H, I don't really care who wins this tournament. The only match I care about is Becky versus Lyra. And the reason she says it like that is because Tiffany Stratton walks in. I mean Fallon Henley, but they're doing the doink thing.
Yeah, they sure are.
Fallon Henley walks in and says, in this preposterous voice, because whoever wins the main event, after that it's Tiffy time for everybody. That Tiffy time, Tiffy titles coming back to Tiffany. And Tiffany says, very funny. If I were you, I'd want to be me too. But really, what are you doing? And Tiff says, Sarah, I deserve everything. Do you know why? Because I'm the center of the universe. That's the universe. That's me at the center, the Tiffy center. And she goes, God, why am I so rich? Did you know that? And Tiff says, okay, please stop. And they do the double doink spot with like...
Yeah.
And then Fallon Henley, Tiffany, says, you can go now, tiddles! And Tiffany goes to leave and then jumps her and they get into a big pull-apart brawl. Great.
The recording of this podcast was delayed 20 minutes so you could transcribe that.
And it was worth it.
Yeah,
this
it
was
was.
brilliant. This was so
loved
great.
this, didn't you?
NXT should do this when it, not even when it's Halloween, just all year round. These characters are designed to be cosplayed as, to be taken the piss out of, to have the odd impersonation, which we do sometimes on this podcast. That's what these characters exist for. I love this.
Yeah.
And it's for like a mini TV thing, like Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley are just having like a little TV program. But Fallon Henley, and
They're paying them compliments, really, aren't they? By imitating them.
Yeah.
NXT is weird like this. Fallon Henley showed just as much personality playing somebody else's gimmick as her own. And that's not a problem, but it's just, I think that shows a bit of range, and I thought this was super effective. Like, what a really fun thing to do with Halloween. Dressing up as, it makes your wrestlers feel bigger. Like, dressing up as a film star or a character is one thing because everybody knows that. The implication here is that everybody knows Tiffany Stratton to get the reference, so it makes your stars feel bigger too.
What a nice quasi-canon way of just building up a daft little throwaway match.
One thing that was missing here was Brooks Jensen coming in and not realizing that Fallon Henley was Tiffany Stratton.
I hope she keeps the outfit for next week and they do that exact thing. Still Halloween,
And how would his tag partner react if he
Oh,
was so...
for fucking sake!
Two of them!
Man! What direction your dick's gonna go in?
Say one from me.
Dog with 2 dicks, you're a dog with 4 dicks now.
I'm seeing double. 4 dicks.
The other breakout tournament semi-final was Lola Vice versus Carmen Petrovic. A briefer match this. Petrovic got sent to the apron and kicked out to the floor. Vice grabbed an abdominal stretch. Petrovic kicked her in the head. She got knocked to the floor with a nice dive in there from Petrovic. But when they get back in, Vice hits that nice spinning head kick, takes her head off basically, gets the win, and then there's a stare down between her and Kalani Jordan. The finals next week.
Nice and snug. Like Lola Vice continues to charm me. I will say Petrovic doing a discus clothesline with the wrong arm. Maybe not the best idea, because it's one of those where, like certain counters are like, I get why you did that because it's going to get a pop. But really what you're doing is just exposing the move that you do as stupid. If someone can just, let's kick you in the back of the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like wrestling is premised on this like ridiculous logic that you just have to just go along with.
Yeah.
If you are prepared to do so and want to suspend your disbelief, right?
Like we keep saying about even our loved ones laugh at selling.
Yes.
And, like there's something in wrestling that go, this is the dumbest shit in the world.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Oh God, what's my life been for?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for someone who's in tune with this weird, like, just strange wavelength to go, that's stupid. It's the idea of like the discus elbow. It's like you're powering up your elbow. It's so dumb. And then you're not even using the powered up one to hit it. It's absolutely stupid. Thanks for just ruining the discus elbow for me. Thanks.
Me and Sidgwick were cooing of Lola Vice selling a dive like Kenny Omega. Snap, flat, back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, and your bugbear about people not even catching. This wasn't just a catch. This was a catch and a sell.
Hater-esque as well. Hater's
Yes.
really good at that. Miss Jamie Hater, man.
Oh yeah, was it Jamie Hayter? Who was it? They would go to the
Rio.
spot.
Riho,
They
yeah.
did the spot like 3 times because it was like, well, that's sorted. We have to do this spot now.
Yeah.
Chase, you're in the back celebrating. Duke Hudson's not best pleased about the new carry-on weight that's been added to his bags, basically. But Thea congratulates Duke, and Jace says, you finally know what it feels like to be a winner, eh?
Again, like, I know how it was delivered. It's true. She continues to help.
Yeah.
Well done. You're a winner. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks very much.
Really turned it around for us.
And they bump into, whilst I think there was Dante Chen and Boa in the background teasing something, but they bump into the tag team champions, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, dressed as Red Riding Hood and the Wolf on a chain, I believe. And there's back and forth between them, which sets up a tag title shot for next week.
Strap them up. Strap them up for me.
Oh, aye.
Cheers, you. All the belts. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, if they lose, this will be the first setback in Thea Hill's life since J.C. Jane met her.
To be like incredibly boringly pragmatic about this, which doesn't warrant actual earnest analysis, look at the amount of women's matches on this show. Look at the amount of women's talent on this show in general. Brackets. This should have the tag titles here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's putting everything else in North America to shame, isn't it?
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
This is when the Metaphor found out or realised that Akira Tozawa had stolen the Heritage Cup and they've got to go to a spooky house.
Terrific.
And the last sort of final nail in the coffin for this night for Mello, Bron Breakker comes up to see him, and Bron's like, you're the man with the trick up his sleeve, because his friend was called Trick. Says everyone's trying to make jokes and take my focus off the match next week. And Bron's like, hey, remember a few weeks back, you and I were the talk of NXT. I've proven I'll do anything to stay at the top. And you did so as well by taking out your best friend. He says, I didn't do it. And Bron's like, look, hey, whatever. Bring that same energy next week. You'll get your title back and we can go back to me and you being on top.
I thought this was superb, but I'm just watching Cedric have an existential crisis over there. Because it was good.
It's great.
It's pretty deft. It's deft.
You like the head critic on The Simpsons. It stinks. Yes, it's Cedric. Everything's deft.
But it is, though.
What the hell happened? What the hell happened to wrestling?
Honestly, what the hell happened?
It's great.
Tony Khan used to build
Those men they do used to have trade. You know.
Just before we get to the main event, there's the arrival of someone else. I'm talking about Jade Cargill, Michael Hamflett.
Was our producer trying to talk to us?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What a presentation of Jade Cargill this was. Security guards a second throne for the night.
Oh my god.
Like,
She'd have to take off her own coat.
just like the thing is like, and this is how it should go. This is absolutely not a dig at AEW or when it happens the other way with WWE. Like when characters jump, you do have the permission to be given the keys with that character. It was Vince McMahon that believed, well, that didn't work because I didn't like it or I didn't invent it, so we're going to do something else. This is what's great about a jump. AEW have handed this character virtually fully formed, and for anybody that doesn't know, now they know because they've just seen it. I love this. I still hope she doesn't live in NXT.
Yeah.
But I just love getting these little teasers of what she is and the threat she
I know it's a means to an end to have her face Becky Lynch rather than the NXT champion.
I think this is just genuinely. I mean, I've got no idea about the actual full-on creative plans, but I thought this was just pretty inspired to telegraph something that they didn't actually end up going with. Mm-hmm. Like the big stare down between Becky champion retaining and Jade Cargill.
Yeah. Nope. The match is there, but it's no longer for the belt. It's for.
So it was Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. They go 50-50, sort of establishing Lyra as a credible challenger. They're very sort of mirroring each other early on. Double crossbodies for a double down. Becky blocks a Northern Lights suplex attempt, but Lyra keeps fighting for it and gets one. But Becky comes back with a Beck-sploder, teases that leg slice off the ropes, but Lyra avoids a baseball slide and hits a drop kick through the ropes to the apron with Lynch on the floor. And Lyra hits the leg slice that Becky's teased earlier and gets out of the manhandle slam, missile drop kick, another near fall. She gets out of the disarmer, does Lyra Valkyria. Becky uses slice spread out of the corner for a near fall of her own. Again, she avoids the manhandle. They trade cradles. Becky gets with an armbar, but Lyra escapes and stacks her up for a 2 count. Fisherman suplex from Lyra Valkyria gets a 2. She goes up top, but misses the splash. Becky locks in the disarm her, but Lyra reaches the ropes to force a break. A set-out powerbomb out of the corner, gets a near fall for Lyra. She goes back to the top rope. Becky cuts her off, superplex into a DDT for another 2 count. Lyra fights out of her powerbomb in the corner, hits her spinning high kick, and cannot believe it doesn't get the 3. Becky blocks another kick, manhandle slam, it's over. But no, Lyra Valkyria kicks out at 2. Becky can't believe it even more. She sets up for another manhandle slam, but Lyra escapes, counters, gets Becky Lynch down to the mat, pins down her shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Lyra Valkyria shocks the world. She pins Becky Lynch. She is your new NXT Women's Champion. And post-match, there's Jade Cargill watching from that balcony as Lynch hands the title to Valkyria and raises her hand to signify she is the new champ.
Never quite great. Never quite on the level of Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton, which I thought was really great in places. But really, really good. And really smartly worked in that way that I'm just kind of like falling in love with Becky Lynch's work. Like her matches, even when they don't like have me on the edge of my seat, I'm just like finding myself really impressed with them. This whole match, because it's teacher versus student or inspirational figure, almost everything Lyra Valkyria did was as a counter. So that is, I have studied you and studied you and studied you because I love you, but now I'm going to use that against you and try and beat you. So all of her offensive moves were basically starting from a defensive position, and you have to think that's a lot down to Becky Lynch's experience, and whoever has sat an agent that is like, how would this make the most sense that it can scan as an upset but a logical one? And I loved that. They didn't just say, well, like, what's Bird Person's 4 best moves? Do them. It was like everything came from a counter, and then you build up to the fact that she counters her finish, and like she didn't steal one, but she studied that manhandle slam 100 million times because she loves Becky Lynch. So it just, this wasn't like some sort of fan wanky thing like that promo was the other week where it was just like, oh, I love you. It was like, I respect you enough to know you inside and out, but you realise that can work against you.
Yeah.
And we witnessed it play out. I'm not sure yet if Lyra Valkyria is quite where NXT would like her to be. And they've strapped her up, so they obviously want her to be this like top women's champion, as Stratton was when Stratton won it. You're like, now feels right. But this is a very earnest attempt to see what she's got on her own now. This was like really, really good. I can't pretend that I was like doing backflips for it, but I really enjoyed watching it.
The finish was so good, and the finishing sequence was so good that what is usual just, like, I cannot, I'm doing the thing again. I couldn't hate it more. It's like, well, I probably could have tried. I really dislike, intensely, the shock kick out face.
Yes.
I mean, come on. I feel like I'm doing a podcast from 5 years ago. That's how freezing cold that take is. But they did from the manhandle, which, by the way, jammed right down on her neck. Like, not dangerous, but just like a different bit of an incline. So it just felt a bit more dangerous. That bit more of a match ender. So to get the 2 count, it's like you can't justify anyone reacting like that to anything, even if you found alien life. It's ridiculous. But if there's ever a move, and the execution of a move that was going to make you think, how'd you kick out of that, goddammit? It was that. It was really well done. And I kind of excused it because I thought they'd built the drama so well. And crowd noise. Like, you can see them actually reacting. So why type it in? It was so, it's like, it is the hairdryer. It just sounds like, what?
It loops, doesn't it?
Yeah. Why do they expect me to think that is a real noise? I find it so insulting. Like, why do you think I'm going to buy that? Do you think I'm stupid? Like, I can't. It's not just the noise. It's the implication of the noise of, you are stupid, idiot, asshole. You will listen to this and think it real. That's how I don't. And yet, I got right back up for that stunning reversal from the second manhandle and just got that rage. Got that rage out of my head. Becky Lynch is really good at what she does.
Brilliant finish, and that's only night 1. Next week, we've got night 2 of Halloween. Let us know your thoughts on this week's in the comment section or on X at What Culture WWE. Watch that. You can follow all 3 of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. We will be back later on today to preview AEW Dynamite. And there's still just time to get your tickets to our live show, whatculture.com/tickets. But for now, this has been the NXT Halloween Night 1 review. We've been the Dadley Boyz. He's been Adam Nicholas. Thank you to our producer, as always. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.